My name is Richard Goodrum. I'm CEO of a company called Race Yourself, a startup in the wearable sector. Quick question: how many? Who goes for a run here? Can I see a sort of raise of hands? Okay, and who has been running? If you keep your hands raised, who's ever been running in their entire life? It should be everyone. Okay, great. And if you can sort of keep your hand raised, that'd be great. Fantastic, thank you. How many of you drop your hand if you find running exciting or you don't get bored of it? I mean, running is great. It's a great health exercise. It's fantastic. But it can get boring over time. And hopefully all of you with your hands raised can agree with me that over time it does get boring. So with Race Yourself, we're kind of trying to solve that problem. So the idea is that you go for a run through a park. And yeah, you love it, but it's very repetitive. Wouldn't it be cooler if you were chased by zombies, for example? So how is that possible, and what am I even talking about? So we're designing the first augmented reality exercise platform for Google Glass. So the idea is that you wear Google Glass, and you can see a virtual avatar of yourself. So you go for a run, and you can see an avatar of yourself from your previous run, or you can look behind you and see zombies chasing you. And there's no greater motivation than, say, zombies chasing you or a giant boulder from Indiana Jones coming after you. And we think that's really, really exciting. And we want to kind of bring that really kind of fun element back into exercise and kind of fuse them together. And only now with wearable technology is that possible. So yeah, that's just a short summary. So really combining all the perks of exercise with the addictiveness of kind of gaming and kind of giving you that kind of adrenaline rush. So this is kind of a mock-up of what it looks like. This is someone wearing kind of Google Glass, and then they can see a kind of ghost image of themselves there, and they can literally kind of race against themselves. And that ghost image could be their personal best, or it could be their average time. And we're kind of building upon that. So we have other games where you could race Usain Bolt. So you could do 100 meters and see how many times Bolt overlaps you, and you could have your 100 meters in, say, 2.3 bolts or 1.5 bolts. Really quite fun. Cycling, it'd be great if you could see a virtual image of your friend's cycle path and literally be your friend and see them in real time, see their avatar. Or if you're doing erg training, be able to see a kind of pace boat, and as you kind of move, you can see a kind of virtual image of a pace boat. I did rowing at university, and it was very, very boring doing it on the erg. And if anyone who has done rowing can probably appreciate, it's one of the most boring things you can do. But if you can have, a rowing boat or maybe a tidal wave coming at you, then it'll be so much more fun and engaging. So that's Race Yourself. I'm going to talk about the market from a startup point of view and tell you kind of why I turned down some banking opportunities to join this company in the first place. Just to give you a bit of perspective, the company is about 3 months old. It's just received its first seed funding and is looking for sort of seed A, about £1 million in sort of January, February time. So it's a relatively new company. In terms of the market, the reason why I sort of left sort of investment banking, did a stint there and decided to join this company was just looking at new wearable technologies. And the iPod sales, it was pretty good, it was pretty successful. And actually there's a nice line graph of it going up there. But the iPhone, that really blew everyone away, and everyone kind of jumped onto that. And then the iPad, everyone's like, no, the iPad's never going to work, it's just a big iPhone. But everyone's got iPads now. And obviously these are all Apple products, and it's not directly tangible to Google Glass, but we do think that new technology is becoming more and more acceptable within society. And we think Google Glass is going to be, a good hit. So how big is the wearable market in general? So what we kind of see is that it currently is around sort of, I think, 3 billion. That's including wearable watches and kind of the headsets at the moment. And we see it kind of, there's a lot of figures out there, to be honest, a lot of kind of wild, optimistic scenarios of, say, 50 billion will be in 2019 or 9 billion. We kind of see it maybe being around sort of 10 to 12 billion in 2019. But the main thing you want to take away is it's going to be growing quite fast. So there's 2 types of kind of wearable technologies out there at the moment, really. It's wrist devices, such as your Nike Plus Fuel Band, your Fitbits, your Pebble watches that you have on your wrist. I'm not really interested in that, and so I'm going to talk about the HMDs, which are kind of head-mounted displays. And these are the 5 main players in the market at the moment. So the first one we have is Oculus, and this is really designed for gaming. So this is something you don't take out and about. You look like an idiot if you wore this kind of on the street. But basically, this is a really immersive kind of headset for gaming, and is really, really cool because you can play computer games and have almost a gigantic cinema and feel so immersed in the game itself. That's going to be, well, the developer edition's out at the moment, but that's going to be coming out consumer-wise sort of late September, costing around $300 now to get the developer version. Second one that's out there is kind of Vuzix. They are sort of designing kind of headset for kind of almost like a cinema-like feel, where you have you can see a 75 kind of inch screen, which is huge. And again, it's currently out at the moment. It's around sort of $600. It's 4 or 5 hours battery life. Third out there is Epson. Again, it's kind of similar to Vuzix, kind of showing that kind of cinema style screen. A little bit more expensive, but it has a sort of longer kind of battery life associated to it, and also has a kind of trackpad, so you can kind of control it a lot more easily. I think the main thing with those three devices is that typically you wear them inside your home or an office. You wouldn't typically wear them out on the street. You probably wouldn't feel comfortable to. The two that you probably would, and that you might see more of in the sort of next year or so, are Recon Jet. This is a kind of headset specifically designed with sport in mind. So you can see out of the sort of the kind of glass bits there, and you have a kind of screen, as it were, in the bottom right, which kind of projects information up. So projecting, say, a map of where you're going, or kind of showing your personal best time. So yeah, that's Recon Jet. They are launching in March 2014, costing about sort of $600. And of course, the main one everyone's talking about is Google Glass. So here it is now. I'm not going to wear it because it look a little bit ridiculous, but so yeah, Google Glass is the main one that we think is going to do well. I think everyone is like, oh, Google Glass is going to be the next big thing, and I think it will sell well. I think it will take time for people to really adjust to wearable technology. I sort of don't want to wear it now because I'm not going to use it. I would only use it in sort of certain situations, and I think Google Glass is going to be one of those items that you use it for certain situations, such as going to work when you're trying to need extra directions, maybe at work, or when you're at home when you want to be more productive, or hopefully for sport as well, which is the area that we're going into. That when you're about to go out, you kind of put on your set of Google Glass, load up, race yourself, and you can race against your own personal best. A bit more details on Google Glass is it's pretty powerful. It has a camera and video. It connects to your phone. It tethers to your phone, and that's how it kind of gets the GPS data. And cost, we kind of estimate Google Glass is going to come out around sort of $400, $500. At the moment, you can get the edition, which is $1,500, which is what that version is there. But Google, historically, with all their products, have brought them out at cost value. So, or just above cost value. They make the money on the content they sell, not on the devices. So we think Google will actually kind of really, really reduce the price to make it much more accessible for consumers in general. And it says, yeah, a day on standby, but you can use it up quite quickly if you use it constantly. So I thought I'd just include some quotes from people who have, I suppose, a lot of collateral. Apple are pretty interested in wearable technology. Steve, who's the founder of Apple, said he's very bullish. It's a huge future, especially in gaming. And Tim Cook said it's an area that's ripe for exploration. And a lot of companies, as soon as Google Glass was launched, a lot of companies you saw, Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, rushed for patents very, very quickly. And it's pretty interesting. There's definitely going to be, Apple are probably definitely working on their own version behind the scenes. But we'll have to wait maybe until next year to find out what they're up to. So what can we kind of expect or kind of see going forwards? We see that sort of technology is just going to get better. So you're going to get faster CPU, you're going to get longer battery life, which is going to make the experience much more enjoyable. Not having to charge it every couple of hours is going to be, and having it last for a whole day is going to be great. Consumer behavior is going to be hopefully greater acceptance of wearable technology going forward. people are getting more used to kind of wearing things on their wrist. We think that, with Google Glass, people will start to, it will hit a sort of certain point where people go, okay, that's fine, it's still having eye contact, and it's actually quicker to use this than, say, look at my phone. And we're going to see a lot more entrants into it. Microsoft, like I said, for Apple, Samsung have filed patents for the wearable technology, and I think you're going to see a lot more big players getting involved now that Google has decided to commit all this resources behind it. And apps. Providing a platform. So when the iPhone launched, it could do a number of certain things, but one of the really great things was all these amazing apps came out, and you engage all this kind of creativity from people that you wouldn't have normally engaged. And hopefully, startups like us and other kind of creative companies can generate these really, really great apps for wearable technology. One idea we have is creating an app for blind people, so that when they go to a conference, they can actually link the video up with a helper back at a remote location, and that helper can talk to the blind person and tell them what they're seeing, so they can be a kind of virtual kind of guide dog for that person. So there's a lot of kind of possibilities opening up with wearable technology that you may not have thought about, which should be pretty interesting. This is our sort of timeline of the company. It was sort of founded sort of 3 months ago. We came up with the idea start of this year. And we believe the kind of hype period for wearables is going to be lasting from end of this year to sort of middle of next year when Google Glass launches. We think that Google will start to use advertising and marketing dollars to kind of really make this product into sort of a tangible thing that people will actually want. And so as a startup, we're looking to kind of ride all the excitement to be able to hopefully be one of the apps that people go to when they get Google Glass. So yeah, that's my sort of presentation. I'm Richard Goodrum from Ratiocell. Thank you very much.
Sign up to the next event now and experience this for yourself. For more information, visit our website, firsttuesday.org.uk. Don't network, be the network.
Which is the moderated panel.